And we are live. So, welcome to episode 116 of An American Werewolf in New Jersey. I am the American Werewolf. Tonight, we have a special guest. We have Mr. Toshi Asaka. And
Hi, how are you?
Toshi Asaka is a award-winning director and producer. And one of his most recent film, The Ronins, is on Amazon Prime right now. I had the opportunity to connect with him on Twitter very recently, which is one of the benefits of social media. And I got the idea that maybe I would ask if he would be kind enough to give me a little bit of his time for an interview. And luckily, he said yes. So I'd like to welcome Toshi Asaka to the show. Thank you for stopping by and for donating a little bit of your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much for inviting me. I'm very honored to be in your show. My name is Toshi Asaka. As he introduced me, I'm the director and the producer of samurai movie The Ronins. I usually I try to make more of samurai movie because there are lots of samurai movie fans in the world. That's what this is movie. This is the new style movie of samurai movies. So it's available on Amazon right now.
Yes, here is a poster. It is won 11 different awards. You can find it now here in the U.S. and just about everywhere on Prime Video. So please go check it out. For me, personally, I grew up on Saturdays in America watching what we had in America called Black Belt Theater.
Okay.
And so it would be largely, it was Saturday afternoons and they would show two different movies or one movie because you were out of school and I'm going to watch this martial arts movie. And they were largely the Chinese, the Run Run Shaw, the Golden Harvest kind of movies. And they were good. Don't misunderstand me. I mean no disrespect to them. And then later for me in life, I discovered Bruce Lee, like many people in the world. But so I began my own journey studying Budo and martial arts. But then later in life, and probably at the correct time, I started to discover the Japanese films. And I'm talking about, you could go back with Kurosawa or Yamamoto's Shinobi no Mano or Okamoto's The Sword of Doom or the Samurai Trilogy with Toshiro Mifune, Twilight Samurai, something a little more modern, all these different films. And they were completely different from the Chinese films. And what separated them for me was that the stories were better. They were character-driven stories. It wasn't just about action. It was about people with real conflicts. They didn't necessarily have a happy ending. Many times the filmmakers were making statements about maybe perhaps what they felt that time period was really like. Sometimes they were very sad endings, but they were just always fantastic. And just when you thought that the story couldn't get any better, they would hit you with some serious action. The swords would start coming out, and then, you'd have people just going at it. And it was a revelation for me because I said, this is completely different. This is completely different. And so over the years, I have tried to collect as many of the films for me as I can. Now because we have things like Amazon, the internet is actually a good thing sometimes. Yes. You and I can have this conversation. I can buy these movies that wouldn't necessarily have been available to me when I was young.
Mm-hmm.
And so when, I say that to say this, when I put all that together with an opportunity to talk to you, I had to say, yes, I'm going to try.
Okay, thank you. I see the background. My challenge of the making the samurai movies, because I do the martial arts for I do the Steven Seagal's Aikido for 20 years, more than 20 years, and I do the katana, the sword fighting, for more than 10 years. I have like a master certificate for the katana as well. Because all my wish was to be a director, to make movies.
Okay.
And when but it's very difficult, to become a film director, a movie director. So I had to way to find my way to get into the film industry. Let me tell you about a little bit of my background. I used to live in Los Angeles for 10 years. And I graduated high school when I was 18, and I lived in Los Angeles for about 10 years. And I went to the college, and I got a degree. And another 5 years, I used to work in the film studio, as in the motion graphic designer and assistant for the cameras. So that was my wish. So my dream actually came true, because when I was kid, I wanted to work in the film industry.
Okay.
So I graduated university, and I was in the industry. But also I felt like when I was making some graphics, and also I was helping the light, the grips, and the cameras, I felt like this is not gonna change my life, being just a part of the gear. So I decided, okay, I accomplished my dreams, so I just decided to go back to Japan, and I started my new other business. Then about 7 years ago, my friend asked me that his son wanted to make a film in Japan.
Okay.
So he was here, and he asked me to support him. So I was not thinking anything about the film, but when I was just helping him about making the film, actually this is what I want. So I said, well, time was different. About 20 years ago, there was no like this one online streaming. Internet was there's no way to place the movie on the internet. And the gear was the camera equipment and everything was too expensive.
Yes.
So it was only people who have money.
Yes.
Can make a movie, and there's people who have a distributor to show the film to the theater. That was 20 years ago. But about 7 years ago, the things changed. They're the high end, the cinema camera you can afford it to buy. Graphic is still good, and also now we have an opportunity to even like independent filmmaker have a chance to show my own movie show on Amazon to share the world. That couldn't happen in 20 years about 20 years ago, but now we can.
So go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's why I decided to start making film again. But it's open field, so which means also there's so many competitions. It's easy to make a film, easy to distribute, which means everybody can join it.
Yes.
I have to be stand out.
Yes.
So that's why I'm thinking, well, what I can do and what I love to do, martial arts, and samurai movie. I know there's a lot of fans, but not many people are actually making samurai movie to the world. The one with the biggest problem is, of course, Japanese, they can't speak English, and when sometimes they make a movie and put the subtitle on it.
Yeah, I like the foreign films.
Yeah, like you who really love samurai movie,
no problem.
No problem. But most of the people, they don't like to read the subtitles. So I have to be both sides. I have to be acceptable first, to make it. So first I made a small, like a 20 minutes short samurai story, made everything in English with my soul teacher. Talk about the harakiri, seppuku.
Yeah, seppuku.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hold on. Let me just say that for people in the audience that might not know, seppuku is the ritual suicide,
Yes.
where the samurai will open up his belly
Mhm.
if he is ordered to do so by his superior, his lord, to do that. So yeah, that's a common trope in
Yes.
the samurai movies. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm explaining for the audience.
No problem. You can always cut in. And but when I see it's like I always watch the American news, and there was like I think like oil factory was exploded in the Gulf about 10 years ago. I don't remember, but
Almost always, yeah, there's something.
yeah. Then the newscaster said, the whoever take responsibility is must do harakiri.
Mm.
So I thought that's not the way of harakiri. Harakiri is not just you have to take a responsibility, they have to kill yourself. No, that's not harakiri.
That's the
I thought,
American harakiri.
yeah,
Yes.
that's American harakiri. So that's fine. The harakiri became Japanese word, that's English word. That's fine. But also I wanted to expect. Well, it's not exactly harakiri,
Yeah.
not just taking responsibility. I wanted to talk about what the harakiri really means is for the honor of samurai. So I made a small 15 minutes the short film, which is also available on Amazon too. So and I tried, first I made everything in English. So is it okay or not? Is it audience would understand or not? Also, another big problem about making samurai movie is cost a lot. If you go to the historical accuracy about all the details, costume, hairstyle, it just price goes, unlimited.
Yes. Yes.
So I wanted to try, make in English, and also, can I make samurai movie with low budget? I used this real samurai house. The costume is the same, but the hairstyle and everything is. I just try not to go that far for the details.
I understand.
So I made it. That was very acceptable. So people never say, "Oh, that's not the way of the hairstyle." So as long as the story is good, and people don't really care about if the main character speak English or there's a lot of things not correct in historical history,
Right.
but nobody really cares about it.
Right. They want the story.
So they want a story, and that's it.
That's what I say all the time. I say, give me a good story.
So that was a challenge for my samurai movies. So I understand now it's acceptable. Still, some people complain about the small details. There's always when even like $1 million budget movies. They always find the small. Oh, this is not correct.
Yes,
I see the camera here. So some people go crazy, but most people when see the story, it's just the story is important. It's not the costume. It's not.
You can never please everybody. You cannot.
Yes. So
you will go crazy trying.
I just need to find people like you who like samurai movie. Just make it.
So let me get this straight. You went to Los Angeles. You went to college. You started working behind the camera.
Yes.
But it was for smaller things, smaller jobs.
Yeah. My part was small. Sometimes
so
humor is big, but my part was small.
Right. So you're like, this is not what I want to do. You go back to Japan, but then you have to wait for the timing.
Yes.
So everything changes with the internet, like this interview now. I can set up a studio in my back room, and do podcasts and do interviews. 20 years ago, you're right, that never could have happened.
No, never.
But you're also right in the sense that now not just me or you, but anybody can do this work.
Yes.
So you have to do very good work.
Yes.
For it to be noticed. So for people to see, it has to be top-notch. Top-notch work. And you are doing something different.
Yes.
the samurais,
Mhm.
the samurai stories.
Mhm.
Now in Japan, you have the what do you call the taiga? Is it the taiga drama?
Tiger Drum, yes.
Yeah, so the tiger, so they do it. The people are familiar in Japan, but you want to bring the message to the world
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
to explain what the real seppuku is
Mhm.
not for Japanese people. It's for everybody outside of Japan
Mhm.
to
Yes.
understand.
Mhm. Yeah, and also because I do the martial arts, you know, I wanted to make some difference between, you know, all Japanese classic martial and the samurai movies, and also like a modern any action movies, you know.
Yeah, the
That
traditional.
yeah, traditional.
Traditional.
And in the Kaishaku, I did some role as like one of the assassins to kill the main character. The main character was the Budo sensei.
Okay, okay.
So and he is of course the master of the sword. I'm the student of the master of the sword, and so we did talk about how we can make it looks cool without being a fake. So when at that time we actually used the imitation sword, you know. Not
Yes.
usually when you make a fan, we use the bamboo sword, which is very light, you know. That's why you can swing like this.
The shinai.
Yeah, not the shinai. It's let me show you. Hold on.
Okay. This is cool. This is cool.
This is the one with the prop that
Okay.
most of the samurai movie use.
Okay.
This is made from bamboo.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's bamboo. Okay.
Yeah, and it puts some like a shiny sticker to make it look like a blade. And this is actually the same as some sword sets, so it's actually fitting the sword. You can swing, but because it's too light, you can actually see it's light, right?
Right.
You know,
It's it was waving. Yeah,
it's light,
Yeah.
and also if you can't because it's light, you can swing anyway. That's usually happening even in samurai movies. Let me show you my real katana. This is my real katana. This is my real katana.
Very nice.
It's heavy.
Yes.
And you can see it's heavy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've played.
When you swing, it's gonna be like this. So
Completely different movement.
Completely different movement.
Yeah.
So because me and my sensei wanted to show a real sword fighting, we applied. You know, you learn many the forms when you practice Budo cuts, yeah, and we apply that if we can use it in a real situation, we kind of changed it, and also we use this. This is too expensive to use it, but we have a practice sword. We have a practice sword which is the same weight, in same shape without any blade.
Yes,
So,
not sharp.
We used it for that movie. So there's like a very, you know, create the good atmosphere because even though it's fake, you can still stop. It's very dangerous. So me and my sensei has really focused about, you know, do the fight. So that was good try. It looks very different from the standard, you know, the samurai movie because samurai movies use this one. So
okay, yeah, that doesn't yeah, okay.
So so I decided to make make this as my specialty to use a real sword or a real heavy sword.
Okay.
To make a little bit different from the typical traditional samurai movie. Okay. But it was also because it's too dangerous to use an imitation sword. So the motion has to be very slow. So I have to kind of like adjust the speed
of the film.
A little bit, yeah, in the film. So when I say it looks good, it looks different, but I wanted to try something different. So then for the next movie in the Ronins, I actually bought the bokken, the wooden sword, and grind it to thinner.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Huh.
it's like much heavier and stronger than this, but still safer than the real sword imitation sword. So I
Okay.
use that sword in my samurai movie. So actors can actually hit with the
Yeah.
weight, but
And
still it's safe.
not so much damage.
Yes. So
Okay.
that was my like focus to make how I can and I can make a sword fighting more real. That
Look
was my
realistic. Yeah.
yeah,
Not the waving. Not the
not
waving.
the waving sword like this.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on a second. We got a couple of comments.
Sure.
We got Eric. Hey,
Mhm.
Internet Eric here, and he says, "Welcome to the podcast, Mr. Asaka." So he
Hi, nice to meet
welcomes you
you.
here. And my Patrick is here from Have Cheetah Will View, and he says, "I love samurai movies."
Mhm.
And he's talking about the Wolf and Cub, the Lone Wolf and Cub,
Okay.
the old classics.
Mhm.
Eric White has a question. He goes, "How much does your real katana weigh?"
It's about I don't know how much pound it is. It's this one is
Kilogram.
about yeah.
Kilogram.
This one is about little bit less than 2 kilograms.
Okay, so about 4 pounds.
Yeah,
That's
about
about
four
4
pounds.
pounds. About 4 pounds. Okay, that's still pretty heavy.
No, actually, it's very heavy when you swing it. It means this is 4 pounds, but when you swing it,
Yeah.
actual weight happens to and then comes to your wrist becomes like 10 pounds, 20 pounds, more even more.
Yeah.
Because there's a momentum that give you more. So it's very heavy. So
If we ever meet, do not swing that at me. If I make it back to Japan, please don't. No. Hold on. Patrick says, I think he's talking about the wooden sword that you shave down. He said it probably still hurts if you get hit with it, though.
of
But
course.
you have to. I mean, you probably have to endure a little bit.
You know what? Another try and when you cut, there's the moment that you just miss and looks
Yeah.
you can
Very
see
close.
yeah close
The space.
and also katana is like same as gun and the main scene is like there's a two two main characters against the two bad guys. There's a big fight scene going on. It's about 20 minutes of sword fighting scene at the end, two sets of fighting. So when you cut, the fight is over.
Yeah, one cut. That's how the fights always end. Yeah.
So it's ends. So, but I wanted to make a sword fight scene longer. So, which means there's not much hitting in the film. At the last moment, you cut. That's it.
Okay.
So there was lots and lots of the stunt coordinating going on, but there's no actually hitting much in my movie because it's cut and that's it.
So you're also you're operating as the stunt coordinator because you are a Budo student too, along with your sensei.
Yes, I teach everybody the sword fighting.
So and do you kemi the rolling and all these.
I taught them everything. I taught them. Of course, I'm director. I teach them acting, but also the sword fighting.
Okay.
And also, I told them how to speak English too.
Did you know? Did they? So was that they were just sounding out the words? Did they understand what they were? Or like if I go to Japan, I could say "arigato gozaimasu," something along those. But I'm just sounding it out. I don't speak Japanese.
I just train them how to sound it correctly.
Okay.
And of course, there's a script, so there's English and Japanese, so they understand what they're talking about.
Okay.
But when they're saying, they have no idea what they're talking about.
You should trick them and make them say something.
So actually, that was good. I have the couple of the native speakers, even though they are Japanese, and they helped me train them, and me and them. Of course, they are not native like myself, but as long as it's okay, it's okay to hear it, so it's fine. So it's all in English, and most of them they don't really speak English, but when you hear it, it's fine. I never had any complaint about the English was very bad, so I never had that problem. So that was fine. Yeah.
Hold,
Go ahead.
hold up. My friend Tony is here, and he says, Hajime Mashide?
Hajimemashite. How do you
Ah,
read?
so yeah, okay. Tony is another Budo student, and he has actually been my teacher when I'm in America.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, so he has been to Japan many times also for same. So I told him and a couple of other people that are also Budo students to stop in and maybe ask a question. Patrick saying you're a nice guest. It's nice to meet you.
Okay, nice to meet you too.
He says, how old were you when you learned to use a katana?
Oh, no, actually, it was about 10 years ago. I practiced Aikido and other martial arts for more than 20 years. No, it's actually not 10 years. It's been 14 years, I guess. I started when I started my katana 2010, so which is 12 years ago. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, I mean, have you ever considered just a straight up, and I mean, I guess you couldn't do this just with a samurai film, but have you ever considered just like a martial art, like a Budo film?
Yes,
just like an Aikido film, like, Steven Seagal, or something along those lines.
Oh, yeah, samurai movies, it's very interesting to make, and also it's very fun, but also it's not going to be just only my career, I'd like to make a comedy too.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And of course, sometimes maybe like a modern actions, like Equalizer or Die Hard or those kind of stuff. Of course, I don't have that much budget yet, so someday if I became like a Spielberg's, then maybe I can make it. That's
you know something? Do you know how many people probably say, I want to make a movie, I want to direct? It sounds like you are doing all of these things now, and now your movie, I want to let everybody know in the audience, if you didn't catch it the first time, this movie is available on Prime Video. So this isn't a movie that you have to, you never get a chance to see it because it's happening in Japan. This is literally on Prime Video. I think it's $1.99 to rent, and I think it's $4.99 to buy digital media. It's digital library, so anybody can access these movies. But what I'm saying is that, all of those people, how few have a movie on Prime, because, you put in the work. You put in the work, not just directing, not just producing, but coordinating the stunts, translating the screenplay, so that the actors can do it in English, to bring it to the broader audience. So, I mean, congratulations. This is fantastic.
Okay, thank you. Like I said, in the future, I'd like to make some modern movie too. But I'm stepping, little by little. Now I'm making. That was the Lonings was my feature film. More than it's about 2 hours long to film. I used to make a film about like for samurai, especially for samurai movie, it was only 18 minutes, and some other movie was about 1 hour less than so. But it was big. My next step is making the full feature film with low budget, but still make some progress about what I can do. Of course, when people see the Lonings, what, I made a movie with a $2,000 budget, so it was very low.
Okay.
Of course, that was not included my fee or actor's fee. It was all volunteer. So, but even though all the production is about $2,000, so which means of course, there are lots of small mistakes, and sometimes you can see some stuff. But like I said, please forget about the small things because I'm not really paying attention about it. Please just forget just the story. And especially the sword fight scene. I spend all my energy to make the best sword fight scene. So that's my thing. I'm trying to stepping up, making, whatever I can do it right now.
And you are doing it. I mean, that's why we are here now. You have done this. So yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I guess in America, we have this thing where we say, you know, every day, you know, 1% better
Yes.
than yesterday. You know, a little, you know, just not, you know, it's not going to be big most of the time. It's going to be a little bit at a time. And yeah, you were doing it. That's fantastic. Hold on a second. We got a couple more questions.
Sure.
It says, what is the inspiration for your movies? Historical events or characters or something else?
For me, Kurosawa. Let's separate. You know, for me, as a director, of course, the Akira Kurosawa is my role model. That's my goal. You know, I still watch the Yojimbo's, you know, and the Hidden Forest, of course, the Seven Samurai.
Yes.
And those not just the samurai movie, but some of the other modern movies, you know, because how he shoot the film is very different. You know, he always, you know, emphasize the characters, the development of the character story. So when you see the Yojimbo movie, you immediately like the Yojimbo. You know?
Yeah.
He always focus about the characters. Even the Seven Samurai, all different samurais have the characters, you know.
Yeah, you care about them.
Yeah, I like how when he shoot the film, he always care about the character developments, you know, about the story, and also the composition of his film, you know, is very different. You know, usually if you don't think much when you see the shot, it's always like this, talking. It's kind of boring. But when you see the Kurosawa movie, there's always motion going on. The one guy talking here, the guys behind it, he always block. We say blocking. The blocking is very unique, and there's always meaning, you know. So when I see that, that's the things I want to do it. I don't like to just shoot, you know, the steady tight shot, talking, then story going on. I wanted to make the Kurosawa's movies how he moved around. That was my kind of goal. But also his style is kind of too old. You know, people like you will like it, but it has to be also acceptable, you know, for like somebody who likes, you know.
I understand.
And of course I like the modern action too, you know, like. So I like to bring both sides, good side combined together, you know. Sometimes I see the wide, I see the motion, but sometimes I show the close up in the fight scene. That's kind of things. So that's kind of inspiration about, you know, how I can get inspiration for my filmmaking. And American directors, I like the Michael Mann and Heat and the Walk.
Oh, Michael Mann.
Yeah. And David Fincher, he does almost the same thing as Kurosawa. That's kind of like I always study, not just enjoy, but study how they make it.
Okay.
Historical events. Let's say I'm history freak, so it's.
You said that, yeah. When you go to France, you want to see all the old ruins.
So Japanese history, there's a three big movement, and the 12th century that the first samurais flourished and took over Japan. Well, was the end of the Kamakura period. That was the story. And the end of the 16th century is where all the samurai lords, daimyo, are fighting each other. The most of the famous events happen this period.
The warring states. Yeah.
Yes, and the end of the samurai era was also very interesting. We call Bakumatsu or Meiji Restoration.
Meiji Restoration, yes.
Yes, that was like a period of the time, you know, Japanese history versus the new history, Western history.
Yes,
and that was very nice timing. I like that too. You know,
yes.
The history. My favorite the story is always the 16th century, the war period. You know?
Okay, warring states.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, do you understand Nobunaga? Oda Nobunaga?
Yeah. He was he wanted to be the ruler.
Yes.
He was very ruthless. Very ruthless, and we were talking earlier about the Iga, the Iga story, and so they were persecuted by Nobunaga, weren't they?
Yes, He did.
Yes, and then you went from Nobunaga to Hideyoshi, and then finally to Ieyasu.
Yes.
Ieyasu, yeah.
Yeah, who became the Edo Shogun, you know.
Hmm.
That story is very interesting, and I always wanted to make the period of the film, you know. I'm thinking like right now I'm working I already finished the writing script talking about there's an African samurai, yes, called Yasuke, who served the Nobunaga, the one we talk about. I made some story, very short story, maybe 40 minutes, you know. But it's really nice story about how he became the samurai of Nobunaga, and how he died, and how he finished with the Nobunaga, because Nobunaga was actually assassinated by rebellions. And I wanted to make some small story about how the African samurai became a samurai, tried to do revenge for his lord. That's my next story. That's my favorite story right now. Characters like that.
Okay. I would look forward to that. I think that would be a great story. There's a lot. There's so much history with Japan.
Yeah, I know it's very difficult to pick it up one.
Yeah, or just to pick one thing, you know. So, but I think you will have time, to work on these projects and do them as as many as you wish. I hope. Patrick is asking, do schools in Japan teach about the shoguns? Do they teach about the clan feuds, the warring states, and all the things? Do they teach to young people?
Of course. Yes, of course. We study at the junior high and high school. It's not deep though. It's not deep. Yeah, it's just in this year, the rebellion happened and the emperor died. This became shogun. It just not much, not interesting. Honestly, I didn't like a history class when I was in high school. It's all about memorizing the event. That's all.
Yeah, and the kids are not paying attention. They want to talk to their friends, and
Yeah, you know what? Actually, we have like the video games. When I was a kid, there was a video game too. So people like me who get into the history or samurai history, starting from the video games. we play a simulation game, learn about the Nobunaga or Takeda Shingen.
Oh, the manga. Yeah.
Now we have the image. Then after that, we sometimes read the comics, or sometimes we read the books. Then some people have become a big fan of those Japanese samurais later.
Are you a fan of the comics and the anime and these sorts of things? Because some of it's a little bit of history, isn't there? In there.
Oh yeah, there's lots of history. The comics and the cartoon too. Of course, I'm Japanese. I'm grown up with him.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. All right. Hold on. Patrick is asking, and then I want to hear about the Ronins. Will there be a home release for your film? I guess he's asking. Patrick, are you asking, is there going to be like DVD or Blu-ray release?
That's things I wish I can, but distributing those kind of things is right now it's very difficult for me, because I have to physically make it, and I have to sell it to Japan and sell it to the United States. So right now for me, to the world, of course in Japan I can sell it,
Yes.
But to the world, it's the Amazon is the only way right now, to show my film.
It is, yeah, and it's very inexpensive. To own is $5. It's $5 to own. It's $2 to rent. So please, if you're listening to this or you catch it in the replay, spend the $2, spend the $5. We are all content creators, so we should support each other. And we do this. Toshi can make more movies. And that's the whole point. In that we support each other that way. Let me ask. So tell us about the Ronins. What's
at the story and my focus. The Ronin is there's the story. Do you understand? First of all, you understand the Ronins?
Yes,
Ronin
the
is
Ronin were the samurai that had no master.
yes, the freelance
No,
samurai. Easy way
yeah,
to say.
yeah, no job.
There's the two Ronins in the main characters, as traveling around Japan and look for you know to be a best the sword fighter or like find the next the new lords or whatever. They are traveling around. The two main character Ronin meet each other and start fighting, on the street. And but they couldn't finish it. Then all of a sudden, there was the another princess came, and it's like a Star Wars story.
Okay, okay,
So,
okay.
so that's easy to say. Let me show. If this is my poster.
Hmm.
I made this movie more like a Star Wars. That's why even my poster looks like a Star Wars.
Yeah. Okay, okay.
So I don't want to go to detail about the story, but the story is about it's more like a Star Wars, just changing the Luke Skywalker to the other one samurai and the Han Solo to the other star, Sony. So the story is like that. So but talking about when I shoot the film, I use the real samurai houses. If like I said, it's a $2,000 very low budget film, but in Japan there's lots of remaining samurai houses everywhere in Japan. So even though it's low budget, I asked them to how can I use this, in the house for samurai movie. So whatever you see in the film on the set is a real samurai house.
Authentic,
That's
yes.
the thing.
Yes. So let me ask, what was the most difficult part of making the Ronins? What did for you? I mean, what did you think was
For me, of course the sword fight scenes.
okay?
There is the three set of sword fight scenes. There is the one in the introduction. The two Ronin fighting each other, and in the middle, there's the one Ronin were fighting against the Yojimbo, and the other Ronin was fighting against the Yakuza. Yeah, I hope you understand the Yakuza.
Yes, I understand.
Yakuza. And the third part, which is the main fight scene, is the Ronin versus Samurai, and two set. There's two Ronin and two Samurai. So that's the three set. I spent like 3-4 months is trying my actors to make it looks good.
I was just going to ask you, how long did it take you to 3 or 4 months, really?
Yes. Starting from the basic posture, how to draw the sword, and I made all the choreography of the sword fighting, and I trained them so many times to make it look real, not just a real, because I'm the actor, so I do the sword fighting. So when you see the postures, has to be looks good. Looks good means looks good when the martial arts see it, not the audience. So there's a good posture and a good cut, good swing, good drawing. It's everything has to be, like
authentic. I understand.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that was most of the effort I spent, and even like some of the sword fight scenes takes only 5 minutes in the movie, but we spend like almost whole day just keep shooting
to get 5 minutes of finished product. So how long was the the total filming? How long did that take?
It's actually it's very hard to say. We start the production from August last year.
Okay.
And the last shooting was December.
Okay, and so about 4 months, 3-4 months.
Then the practice starts from like this in the middle of June.
Okay.
English and the sword fighting and also the acting. The problem was last year the COVID was very bad in Japan.
Yes.
That's why it took a long time. So like also it's low budget and everybody has volunteers, which means most of the people, even though the actors, they have a job. So we have to coordinate the schedule. Some people are only available on the weekends. So we have to set up timing of the schedule for like 10-20 people. That was the hardest part actually. it's not funny if that's why I didn't say it. So
The
matching the
scheduling, yeah.
schedules.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if I'm a big producer, if I pay them, now
Right.
I buy your time, 2 weeks, nothing else, then I
Right.
could do it. But we have to match the schedule. That was the very difficult part. Then all of a sudden we scheduled and we rent a space. Then COVID said, "Oh, we can't do any shooting anymore." So we actually planned it for like a couple months. So that was the hardest part. That's why it took 4 months. But if I do it everything in one day and constant continuously, it takes maybe 3 weeks.
Okay.
So like 20 days of shooting.
Okay. 20 days of shooting. Okay.
Mm.
Hold on. We got another question for you. It says, do you include more obscure weapons in your movies other than sword? And did you include any gunpowder weapons?
Well, I did gunpowder pepper. And also, let me talk about the fight scene. And
Please.
there was the one scene there, the Yakuza head of Yakuza versus Ronin. Because I'm a martial artist, I put very different aspect from sword fighting. Of course, the Ronin is very good on sword fighting, but Yakuza is weak. But Yakuza is also he survived from many situations. Once he lost his main katana, he picked up the big wooden paw and swinging around.
Okay.
And he lost the weapon. He swing another like a big tight rope and swinging around like this.
Okay.
Use like some of the farmers' items and the hammers, and even he just starts throwing rocks. So in this samurai movie, I not just showing about just the cool samurai fighting, but I also show a little bit of like, oh, this is supposed to be a real fight, So it's not just a beautiful choreography. The one guy has to win. So the Yakuza took everything around him to defeat against the Yakuza.
He's trying to survive.
Yeah, he's trying to survive. That's in the middle of the part showing about the sword fighting thing. So that was like my another the focus about the key point of the fight scene. So and of course it appear with the guns as well. So what are you gonna do with the gun when you have a sword? So kind of those tensions too. So I kind of put lots of stuff in there. I don't have a chance to put the shuriken and the bow, throwing knife and the bow, but maybe next time, if I have a chance, I like to put the spears, stuff like that. And then maybe next film, yes.
Are you right now? I mean, so the Ronins has been released. It is out for distribution in the digital library. What are you? I mean, are you working on anything right now, or are you, working on new screenplay, or are you in production for anything?
Yeah, I'm working on the couple of the stories already. I finished and once I finished writing the samurai story, and that's like I told about the African samurai, that was already finished scripting and finished writing. I'm writing, but that takes a little bit longer, and I need a little bit budget, so I just leave them there. And right now I'm working another like 15 minutes of samurai story, talking about the revenge. That was very common in the culture for the samurai history. That's gonna be about 15 minutes. That right now I'm writing on it, so maybe it's gonna be finished shooting, completed maybe around the end of August. That's another stuff. And I have an idea. I have lots of stuff going on here.
I like those ideas that you could do almost small scenes. Discussion. Or plotting revenge. That almost that could be the project.
Yes,
smaller things. Just we're going to sit down and this is the discussion, and it's not an action scene. It's it's dialogue, but we're going to write it well, and we're going to develop why this is happening, and that I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, that's gonna be like a 15 the 15 minutes movie. Maybe total production would be like
Yeah,
4 or 5 days.
short film.
Short film, yes.
Yeah, short films are great. I've
I
seen
know.
some fantastic things happen.
Mhm.
I mean, because especially in America,
Mhm.
they make some bad movies sometimes, and so hours and two, and I'm like, these are terrible. And then you'll watch something that someone you don't even know has made, and it's like 10 minutes, and it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful to watch, and you're like, wow, that's amazing. So the idea of making, a more concise kind of thing, I think that's fantastic.
Yes, so maybe like I'm focusing about more of the short film, 15, 20 minutes, or even longer, maybe like a 30 minutes. That's the
Yeah.
even look at the learning was the 2 hours, but I'm gonna make the next movie, like a learning 2, but make it more like 40 minutes, like a TV show kind of thing. So 40 minutes is shorter. But also, I would like to make like one issue, like you said, one topic, one issue,
Yeah.
15 minutes, talk about what's happening here, and this is the result. That's it. Put the dialogue, maybe a little bit of sword fighting, but not fancy, but small sword fighting, and that's it. That's gonna be my revenge story. It's more like it's a story about the two warnings. Not two samurai actually. The one guy was who killed his master and he escaped, and the other guy is the son of the the samurai, and they separated. They walk around, they just stumble up on one the bar, sit down. Nobody, they don't know each other. They start talking about what they're doing, and doing this and doing this. Then eventually they realize that this is the guy who killed my father, and they also know it. So then just communication going on, and just after they just one fight. Of course, there's a behind story. It's not just as simple as kill. But then after that, go to maybe temple and just they fight to make sure, what they fight for the revenge or not. That's kind of short story I'm thinking about.
You can make almost anything with something like that. It doesn't even have to be a fight. It can be, whatever, just talking about whatever, Yeah, that's fantastic. So let me ask this, because I don't want to keep you for too long. How did you get started with Budo? How did you become, was this something you wanted to do from childhood? Or was it something?
Simple. It's simple. I was a big fan of Steven Seagal.
Okay. So okay. I was as well. Everybody was in the 90s. It was something that no one had ever seen before.
So now, of course, he speaks Japanese, so that was another thing. But when I moved to Los Angeles in the internet, I was just checking the internet and looking for the Steven Seagal, and I just found his dojo was located in Santa Monica. Of course, so for me, I always wanted to do some kind of martial arts as a Japanese, but I found out the Steven Seagal's Aikido dojo. Oh, this is the one I have to join. So I went there. That's how I started.
So did you actually train with Sensei? Did you train with Sensei?
No, actually not. He was already big star, and he never had a chance to, come to my dojo. Okay. But my first certificate was under his name.
Okay.
And my senpai, my sensei, and my senior students, they are all in Steven Seagal's movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially my sensei is the first half of his movie. My sensei and my was always in his movie, so it's sometimes fun to see. Whenever you see Steven Seagal's early movie, and when you see some Japanese, that's my sensei.
Okay. When I would train in Kitakashiwa, we would share the space because it's a big sports facility, and the group next would be doing Aikido, and all those wrist locks. They used to make me feel bad. I'm like, ow, that looks painful to see from. I'm like, I'm staying over here, but that's good. And so you followed that up later with sword.
Yes, that's actually I was when I came back to Japan, I went to the some other famous the Kobudo sensei, Daitoryu sensei, and learning something. And because I came back to Japan, I didn't have any sensei, because
Right.
my Aikido is very different. I couldn't fit with the typical Japanese
With the
Aikido.
Japanese Aikido. Oh, okay, okay.
That's why I start my own Aikido school. I teach Steven Seagal's Aikido. Now I have a students a lot in Colombia and some Russian stuff in America too. Then when I joined the old sensei, the one of the junior students was actually sensei of this Iai. So he asked me if you are interested in, I can teach you sword. So okay, that's something interesting. And I was also thinking about it's gonna be nice if I want to make some samurai movie.
Mm,
I need to know how to fight and how
yeah,
to fight with the sword. So that's
yeah,
how I started running
yeah.
Iaido. So
Okay,
mm.
okay. So I mean, that's a weird kind of thing in that all of these pieces seem to have come together for you.
Oh yes, I think so. Yeah, I hope so.
So that now you are able to do this. The thing you did in Los Angeles, going to school. Well, it didn't work out in Los Angeles, but then years later in
Yes.
Japan, the world changes with the internet. You can do these things. The training. 20 years ago, I wanted to study. I liked Above the Law. So I wanted to study this, and now,
Yes, I'm
all
actually
these
using
years
that.
later, yeah.
So it's like my favorite the Steve Jobs speech, and he said he ran some like the choreograph at high school, and he used that when he invented Apple. So it's like every dot on my path now it's
Yeah.
becoming one goal, one purpose right now. I learn Aikido, I learn how to shoot the film, I learn Kenjutsu, and of course I learn how to speak English. Now everything become one, goal. So that's what I feel right now. I still working on it, so I hope people likes my first time my movie, but that's not that's gonna be my you know step to the next level. So
It seems like a good path.
mm,
It seems like a good path right now. Congratulations to you.
thank you. Mm,
Yes,
mm,
yes. Thank you very much.
mm.
I promised we would keep it to under an hour, and we're just about there now.
Okay.
Was there? Tell people where they can find you. Where are you on social media? If they want to follow what you're going to be working on next, are
Oh,
you on Instagram, Twitter, whatever?
yeah, I have a Twitter. I mean, I have almost everything. I have Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook and YouTube too. But Twitter would be very easy. Twitter is the if you type
I'll tell you what.
someone
What I will do, I will put the link in the description for
or
your Twitter.
if you type samurai and Toshi Asaka or samurai director Toshi Asaka,
Okay,
that's the only me I think in the
you
world.
you will find it. Okay, so Toshi Asaka Samurai, and
That's
they
that
will
that should be
find
that
you
should
on
be
Twitter or just about any social media platform, and
yes.
including YouTube. You have a YouTube
Mhm.
with videos and things like that. So that's
Mhm.
people will
It's all
want to see.
connected. So once you find any my social media, it's connected. You can find my
The
YouTube from
rest.
Twitter, or if you find me on YouTube, you can find me on Twitter as well. So
Okay.
and Instagram, yes.
Okay. Um, Is there anything else did we leave anything out? Anything else you wanted to mention?
Uh, you know, uh, I'd like to talk to you again, if it's
Yeah,
possible.
yeah, I would love to have you back again and we could
And
talk some more.
please watch my movie first.
Yes, yes,
and
I will absolutely, absolutely.
and like I said, it's challenge. So you have to kind of see why they don't talk about the small mistakes, just the story.
That's yeah.
But next time, maybe you can ask me about the learning. It's really difficult for me to talk about movie just talking. You can ask me questions and I can answer. That's might be easier for me.
I would yeah, I would love to have you back
And
on.
also, if that's 2 hour long, you can also start from watching Kaishaku, That's another Harakiri movie. I send you the links.
Okay.
You know, that's it's easy. It's only the 40 minutes and 18 minutes long of short samurai film. My first samurai film, so that might be also easy for you guys to see. So, and I hope you understand that my choice.
I'm sure it will be fine, and I will end up. I will definitely check out the Ronins. It's not a problem. I would definitely appreciate having you back on. And we can talk some more.
Okay.
Hold on a second. We got one last comment. Hold on a second. Tony Notoriani is saying, "Nice to see you."
Nice to see you guys too.
Yeah. Hopefully, maybe next year, Japan will open up again for tourism. And we can come back and I can come
when
back
you come to Japan, please ask me and I can take you around some nice space too.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely, I want to see Sensei again, my Sensei there. I want to train and get back to Japan, and it would be nice to connect once I get there. I would appreciate
also if this COVID situation become easier, I'd like to visit to the United States. I have lots of friends in there too. So if I have a chance to visit there, I'd like to visit your place in New Jersey. And I've never been in New Jersey. So
if you ever come to New York or something like that,
New York, I have lots of friends in New York. So
New York would be very easy. So I'm sure if given the opportunity, we will set something up. Okay. My thanks to Toshi Asaka for coming on the show tonight and taking some of his time out to talk. My thanks to everybody in the chat tonight who took a second to ask a question. Tomorrow, I have a lot of streams this week. I usually only do 2, but for some reason I have 4 this week. Tomorrow, we will be back at 8:00 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to be covering another Japanese film, actually, Shin Godzilla. So that's always fun. We're doing a bunch of kaiju movies. And then on Thursday, 8 p.m., we'll be finishing out the week with a fantastic Western called Bone Tomahawk. So I'm looking forward to that. My thanks again to Toshi Asaka. Have a good night. We'll be back at 8 p.m. Toshi, stick around for a second. I've got an outro, but I want to talk to you for just a second if you got the time. All right. Good night, everybody.
Bye.